Hey, did you hear about all the cloning?
all the cloning.
I was curious if you heard about it.
Just like there's a rash of cloning going around.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard. It's like a trend.
Nobody. I don't think so. I don't
Oh,
think.
well,
I was gonna say nobody's cloned me, but how would I know?
how would you know? You don't know.
Who
know.
got cloned?
Jim Carrey got cloned.
Oh.
I don't know if anyone cares. I do like The Mask, though. Great
There's a
movie.
time we would have really cared if Jim Carrey got cloned. You like the mask that his clone wears that makes him look more like him?
I don't know what's going on the internet. It's very clear that Jim probably had some plastic surgery done, just like most people. And then anytime anyone ever does that,
people has
sorry. let me reconfigure that whole sentence.
Okay, please do.
So when celebs have plastic surgery, what happens most of the time is that people are like, oh, they're unrecognizable. And I'm like, I don't think they are. You certainly think this is like a Jim Carrey clone, so they're not that unrecognizable, at all. Unrecognizable implies that you do not recognize them and would not be able to.
Well, I fucking hate that. Okay, we have to talk about unrecognizable, and then we can go back to the clone thing. I had a habit of clicking on those stories in my like Google News feed, and then that became everything in my, because the first couple times you see that in a headline, like Jonah Hill is unrecognizable in this new role or whatever, or like Anna Kendrick is unrecognizable in her, and you're like, oh, interesting, I want to see them be unrecognizable, and you click on it and you're like, no, that's Anna Kendrick.
No, they're certainly recognizable.
That's even Jonah Hill with a wig on.
Listen, I think there's a problem with the amount of plastics people are getting right now, but that does not make people unrecognizable. Like, you still recognize them.
Right. So people just started using that term more and more often.
It's like a buzzword now.
To the point where, it's like, okay, I just looked up the Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
The Jim Carrey.
The Jim Carrey. Okay.
All right. I'll say this.
Uh-oh.
If I didn't know I was looking at Jim Carrey, that would be unrecognizable. He looks a little bit like a shiny Tommy Wiseau.
It looks like he had gotten that eye surgery that's very popular for people who have hooded eyes. They get like a little lift. Renee Zellweger had it done too. And I love her, and I love Bridget Jones.
Okay.
And she was not unrecognizable. I'm like, oh, that's Renee Zellweger. She just looks weird. Okay. That's how I feel about Jim Carrey. I'm like, oh, I think that is him. He just looks a little weird.
He just looks like swollen.
He looks like he had plastic surgery. To me, that's what it looks like.
Well, I think we can go back to clones.
Hey.
So the theory is that he was cloned.
That's what people are saying. But it's just like, that's not Jim Carrey. He's a clone.
But if you cloned him, wouldn't the clone look a lot more like Jim Carrey?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, but it can't be a clone if you think he's unrecognizable. What, is cloning technology that bad? We can't even get the clone right?
Well, I bet it is. But then cloning technology, they're also assuming cloning technology where also you can hyper grow a human being from like from like the zygote stage all the way up to, how old's Jim Carrey? 78?
No, he said
Okay, and when you click on, like, if you go to his Wikipedia and you look at him from 2020, like, he doesn't look like the Jim Carrey from 1998, but he looks a lot like the Jim Carrey from 2020.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that's a clone, guys. I'm sorry.
There's so many. Did you hear about Avril Lavigne got?
I didn't. I used to be a pretty big fan, so I didn't know.
Well, there was like a shift in her style, right? People, I think.
Wait, you're telling me there was a musician who pivoted their style?
That's right. So
you're kidding.
So, I mean, she was always a pop star.
Yeah.
from the very beginning. And I think people look back on that pop punk, early emo thing. People who didn't really know what punk rock was look at that time.
Still don't really know what it is.
And think about that. Think about like Blink-182 and Avril Lavigne and Good Charlotte and stuff. They think of those things as punk. And then when they look at when they kind of like look back and see that those were all pop bands.
But it is pop punk. It does fall into its own, for me, it falls into its own category.
I think that's why they recreated the name emo.
I thought you were going to say that's why they cloned Avril Lavigne.
That's why they cloned Avril Lavigne. Well, no, I mean, I don't think Avril Lavigne falls under pop punk. I think maybe you could say that about Blink-182. I think it's harder to say that about.
Yeah.
I think it's harder to say that about Good Charlotte. I think it's like really hard to say that about Avril Lavigne. And so when she became even more of a pop star, people were like, oh my God, that was a different Avril Lavigne. It's like, no, I think you just didn't understand Avril Lavigne. I think you just didn't understand she was like a hot pop girly.
I don't think she even
step
changed.
one.
I don't think she even changed. Her lyrics are all of the same theme.
I think she just changed her clothes.
A lot of people, oh my God. David Bowie changed his clothes all the time, and people are like, ooh, what a genius this man is. So there's also like
there's also like a Beyonce, I don't think it was a clone, but it was like a doppelganger thing that was like it was either that she had a fake Beyonce when she got pregnant, or that she never got pregnant. And the pregnant Beyonce was a fake.
What in the absolute Inquirer magazine is this bullshit?
And then there's been a couple cloned Britney Spearses.
That's ongoing. That is an ongoing situation. I guess there's something I should tell you.
You're the new Britney Spears?
Well, I could that's the dream, but never. No, I'm a clone.
Have you been a clone the whole time I've known you, or is that just why we haven't put out an episode in a Hey, everybody, and welcome back. Do we say welcome back on this show?
I always say welcome back no matter what I'm doing. So if it's in a video, I say welcome back to my channel, welcome back to the podcast, welcome back
to Save Your Game, a podcast with me, your host, Matt Ockamp, and my good friend, I guess, genetic double of Pushing Up Roses.
Hi, pretty convincing, right? I think they did a really good job on me, I mean, a clone.
If I never knew the other you, then I wouldn't know.
I mean, like, we went to Adventure X. Did you notice anything weird?
Again, if I only ever knew the clone you, how would I notice something weird?
But you know when things are weird, just like people are noticing that Jim Carrey's weird.
I guess I did notice when you cut your finger and 18 bugs fell out of your skin, and you quickly said, "Stop looking," and ran into the bathroom.
Don't look at me! And then there was no bathroom door, so that did nothing. You could just watch the entire time.
Yeah, but I politely averted my eyes while you sewed back up your skin and kept all your bugs in.
Oh, I didn't keep all of them. Some of them got into your head. So sorry.
Jesus Christ.
But other than that, I would say I'm pretty normal. Yeah.
How are you doing, Pushing Up Roses?
I'm good. I'm stoked because we manifested something amazing. A game that we wanted. We did that. Yeah. I just want everyone to know that we did that. We were such fucking huge fans of this first game. Oh, let's be coy, even though it's in the title. Let's be coy and pretend like we're not telling anybody until it happens. Good at that.
We were so such big fans of the first game, and I think we even maybe said in the episode where we covered it that they probably wouldn't make it. Like, we both wanted another one.
Yeah.
But it was unlikely they'd make another one because it's made by Square Enix and it's not their normal thing. And like, people weren't talking about it the way they normally talk about Square Enix games.
Maybe they were, though, and we just didn't. Maybe we're just like out of the loop, because like thinking about it more logically, this is something that Square would do. They're all about their franchises. So if they have a chance to make like a sequel, especially a sequel that's like unrelated, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Can we even call that a sequel? I don't even know what that. They're not sequels then. They're just the next installment of the game, because the Final Fantasy games, they're not sequels.
Just another game in this series.
In the series, yeah. Whereas I would say, maybe you agree, King's Quest had sequels? What do you think?
Yeah, King's Quest had sequels because it was the same characters kind of like continuing their story. I think there was a period of time where probably you would pick up the next King's Quest game and at first go, oh, I guess it's kind of like an anthology. And then you'd go, wait, no, this is the same guy. This is the same kingdom. This is the same story.
They're super linked. They're super linked. And the Final Fantasy games are not linked. They are insane. Every story is crazy. But before we jump into that,
there are themes that link the Final Fantasy games, just like there. And I know this is not Square Enix, but there are things that like link the Dragon.
Oh,
games.
Dragon Quest. Sure,
maybe that is Square Enix.
It might be Square.
They did do Dragon Quest. What am I thinking? Yeah, so Kingdom Hearts has the same exact story.
Yeah.
It's just utterly bonkers.
I would even argue that maybe even Zelda is like, the Zelda games are like that as well.
Oh, could you imagine how bad it would be if I don't dislike Square Enix.
Yeah.
But if Square Enix made the Zelda games,
they'd be so much more dramatic, and I don't even know how we could do
that. They'd be terrible. Well, they did the Life is they didn't do the Life is Strange games, right? That was Donut.
Yeah, that's
they published them. They published them.
Yeah, they didn't develop them though.
They did the Bubble Bobble games, or at least they own the Bubble Bobble games now.
Okay.
Huh. I'm just looking at Square Enix franchises.
I actually love the Square games. I love Final Fantasy VIII. I think I've said that before. No one's called me out on it, which is amazing. Thanks for thanks for humoring me and my love for Final Fantasy VIII. The stories are absolutely bonkers, insane. And honestly, these games are really no different. They might be like a little bit easier to understand, which is saying something, because it's kind of a lot. But I was going to say, before we dive into that, I do have a new favorite thing.
Oh,
would you like to know what it is?
All right, so now let's dive into the game we're talking about today. No, I want to hear about. No, I want to hear about your favorite thing.
It's my new favorite thing. I forgot what the other favorite thing was. Man, I just go through favorite things real fucking quickly.
I guess maybe you're a new clone. Maybe you're clone number 2.
That's true. I gotta find them all again. I gotta find the favorite things
when
again.
You get cloned, you have to you have to rebuild your personality from the favorite things up.
So my new favorite thing are pangolins. Pangolins.
Yeah.
That's my new favorite thing.
Okay. Here's a weird thing. This is absolutely bizarre.
Pangolins. Okay.
Because pangolins oddly just randomly popped into my head just like 2 days ago.
That was me.
And I've been thinking about them just like here and there. I haven't been like obsessing about them. But in fact, I didn't even think to look up what pangolins were because I knew they were an animal, but I forgot what they were about. But the word pangolin has been bouncing because, all right, I do these Sporkle quizzes. This is a thing I like to do. Here's one of my favorite things. Well, yeah. I'm commandeering
my segment.
One of my favorite things is to go to sporkle.com and play Sporkle quizzes. And lately, I've been doing They have these quizzes that are just a bunch of the micro heroes or mini heroes of Marvel heroes, just like in a big crowd scene.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Marvel Picture Find A characters, and it's every character that starts with A, and it's these little these little cartoony micro hero depictions of Marvel characters, and it's like, oh, can you name all these, somewhere between 80 and 120 of these characters, right? Yeah. And I was doing P, and Pangolin popped in my head, and I was like, why isn't there a Marvel character named Pangolin? And then the word
Pangolin
just stuck in my head, like Pangolin.
That was me. You know how sometimes every now and then, like a beautiful woman will like get into your brain and that's what you think about. That's actually not me. What I do sometimes
sometimes it happens. Just sometimes, not like every day, all day, every day, all the time.
What I do, instead of weaseling into your brain, I put pangolins in there instead. Like I put my favorite things of the minds of the men who are interested in me. So I purposely made you think of pangolins.
Why? Hold on. Why are we suddenly throwing me in the category of men who are interested in you?
Well, I mean, everyone is.
Everybody.
It's okay, Matt. You don't have to play coy with me. But that's not the point. The point is...
We've been friends for too long for you to not be interested in me.
Listen, I get it. I'm stunning and... an enigma of mystery and intrigue and joy.
I'll say this.
That's not the point. That's not the point. The point is I made you think about a pangolin.
In a way.
Oh boy.
I'm definitely interested in you in a way. In a way.
Hey, I hear an insult. I know an insult when I hear one.
Okay, no.
The
All right, sorry.
You're interested because I have brought pangolins
so the thing
to
is,
the table.
Right, so the thing that would happen is I would go, man, I can't stop thinking of pangolins.
Correct.
And then you would go, I would talk to you. I'd talk to you just like randomly in the midst of life. And I'd be thinking about pangolins, be like, man, do I love pangolins. And I'd go, pangolins? Who is this mystery woman?
Actually, it's a little more selfish than that. I just love pangolins so much that I need other people to talk to about pangolins.
Okay.
And now that it's on your mind, we can talk about it. Aren't they like the cutest thing you've ever seen in your whole fucking life? Look at it. Did you Google it? Look at it.
Yeah.
Are you looking?
I wouldn't quite call... I mean, there's words I would use for this. Cute.
I think off recording, we discovered that you and I have different perceptions of what cute is. Because I called a lobster cute, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, lobsters aren't cute. Neither are pangolins.
No, pangolins. Oh my gosh!
I do think they're kind of cool. Did you ever hear of the lobster phenomenon?
No.
There's a phenomenon that seems to have happened. That's happened in the world only. This might have changed since I first heard reporting on this, but there was reporting on this back in like the 2010s. Mm-hmm. That seems to have only happened with women, where they'll go into a grocery store, they will, and not in a romantic way, fall in love with a lobster. Again, not in a romantic way.
Well, what other kind is there?
Like I have a connection with this lobster.
Okay, so they didn't fall in love with it, but they've developed a weird bond.
They developed an instant. They love this. They love the lobster. They're not in love with the lobster.
Right.
Man, that sounds so familiar.
Like a child.
That sounds like so familiar, as if dozens of women have said this to me.
That's unfortunate because I'm recalling the times I've told men that. My bad. So sorry. Okay, hear me out. I need you to click on the link that I put in and that just shows you how cute pangolins are. Right. I'm never gonna give this up. This is how I feel.
Huh.
What do you think? It's pretty cute, right?
Just
So
like,
cute.
no, but I can, okay, I can see it. I can see how okay, and this is labeled. So it's chonk level 100. They are very chonky.
They're chonky.
For people that don't know, what they're like is like a,
Man, pangolins are so cool. You don't even have the words.
They have like an armadillo shell.
Yep. They look a little bit like an armadillo.
But their body is kind of shaped like a shrew.
And it's like scales. Like they have dragon scales. It's pretty
like
fucking
really
badass.
tough, like really thick scales. So they're very chonky. It says armored floof. I don't think those two words go together. And then honestly, too cute face. Okay, disagree.
Come on.
T-Rex hands. Okay, I can see that it's got like folded up little hands that looks like it's always like praying, or like do you ever see that image of a raccoon washing cotton candy? Some cruel man gave them cotton candy.
Poor thing.
And washed the cotton candy. It was like, what the fuck? Anyway, it had its little T-Rex hands. So, it's got a rat nose,
which is cute.
Okay, I like rats.
I love rats.
But this looks like this is a rat nose, like a cartoon rat, like Shredder. Or not, sorry, Splinter, like Splinter.
I was going to say, whoa, what? Is there stuff I don't know?
Oh, man, if Shredder took off his helmet and he was a rat underneath.
It'd be funny.
Wow. Why didn't I should have written? I should have written for TMNT.
That is a twist if I ever heard one.
And people would be like, no, he's not. We saw his human feature. No, he was a rat the whole time.
We saw his human hands coming out of the trash bin.
Well, thank you for sharing your favorite thing with me,
You're welcome.
Roses.
That's my favorite thing, pangolins.
Playdate with Matt.
Hey guys, it's time for Playdate with Matt, a segment.
No way!
Within the podcast Save Your Game, where I talk about my favorite games on the Panic, like weird little gaming system called the Playdate. For people that haven't heard this segment, because we haven't done it in like 30 episodes.
5 years.
The Playdate is this tiny little square, flat device that is as simple as can be. It's not backlit. It is 1-bit, meaning just black and white. It has basically original Game Boy controls. So it's got an A and a B and a D-pad and a crank on the side.
It's not loose. Don't get excited.
No, it's fully connected and tight. And you can, a lot of developers will use the crank for different types of gameplay. And the big tragedy, one of our very gracious, very cool listeners, actually, after I talked about it on the show and talked about how I couldn't afford one of our gracious listeners bought me a fucking Playdate.
Yeah.
Which I'm still grateful for. I still can't believe that happened.
So cool.
And then I had it for, I don't know, less than a year, but a while. And it fell off my desk. Just I don't have an exceptionally tall desk.
Yeah.
It fell like the normal length of a desk to the floor, landed on its corner, and the digital like ink screen, I don't know if it's actually digital ink, but it kind of looks like it, cracked. And 3/4 of the screen became unreadable. So I tried to play it a little bit by you can connect it to your computer and download sort of like emulator things that don't pirate anything. They just sort of like you can play. But it's not fun. It's not fun without the little device.
Yeah.
And then my very good friend, Pushing Up Roses, for Christmas, paid to have it fixed.
You did. That was your Christmas gift.
And I never told her that I got it back finally.
You didn't. You never did. When did you get it back?
I got it back about a month ago. I expected us to record this episode sooner. I was saving it but okay, so I got it back.
Funny.
And here's what I'll say. I bought Season 2. So the Playdate comes with Season 1, which is a series of free games that it doles out every, I think, week or two. It'll give you 2 games for you, and it gives you time to like really like spend time with them. Like, remember when you were a kid and you got a new gaming system and you couldn't afford games that much.
Yeah.
So you would get a new game every, I don't know, month or so. Maybe
not even for me, like not even that. It was
maybe
like
less.
good. What happened for me is like when I got the Sega Genesis,
mm-hmm.
They gave me a few games at a time, and then for like my birthday, maybe I get like two.
This is the
Genesis games.
Yeah. I think that's the way it was more for me. Like when we got our Nintendo when I was a little kid, they bought like whatever 10, 12 games, and then no new games for probably 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
And then when I would save up enough money to go to Funko Land or or at a holiday or birthday or something, I would get new games.
Yeah.
So to sort of replicate that experience of like spending time with your games, they'll give you like 2 at a time. Season 1 has a bunch of cool stuff. I've talked about it on previous episodes. Season 2, you have to actually buy separately.
Mm-hmm.
But holy shit, Roses. Ooh. Season 2 of Playdate is incredible.
Oh, good. Yay.
And I want to talk about a couple things. I think I can dole this out over episodes, especially because I haven't gotten them all yet.
Yeah.
But I'll talk about 2 right now. 1, I got a game called Dig Dino.
Okay.
And fuck, this game was addictive. It's just like, it's not an adventure game. It's a very arcadey. There is a storyline, but you're just digging up dinosaur bones.
Yeah.
You're just like a bunch of animals.
Oh my God, it's so cute.
Animals. And you're digging up dinosaur bones, and you sell the dinosaur bones to upgrade your tools. And you sell like the various artifacts, and sometimes you find coins and stuff, and you sell those to upgrade your tools, and then you can dig deeper, dig quicker. You have a certain you have an energy level. When your energy runs out, your day of digging is done. So you have to day of digging is done. Say it with me. Day of digging
is done.
So I started playing Dig Dino. It was a work night, and I stayed up until 3 a.m. And I might have even been called out the next day. I was like, fuck, man. I need a mental health day because I stayed up all night playing Dig Dino.
Oh my God, don't admit that here.
Oops. And, okay. But, so Dig Dino, very fun. Here's the game I really want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
There's a game that comes with Season 2. It's called Whiteout. And it's the story about like a near future where it started snowing and just never stopped.
Ooh.
So like like a post-apocalyptic world where climate change has just caused continuous snow, and the world has slowly kind of fallen apart. Mm-hmm. And so you play as a character called the Wanderer, who just walks the world. You're surviving and trying to pick through the remains of human civilization. And the game is like, it's got really great graphics for a 2-bit game.
Yeah.
And it is on a 2-dimensional plane. You're just wandering back and forth. You're walking left and right. That's all you're doing. And as you hit certain, milestones in the game, or various markers in the world, it'll start narrating some like background to you, or some like thoughts that the character's having, which I don't usually love, but on something this simple was a really effective way to tell a story.
Nice.
And then you come across, very minor puzzles at first. Like it's like, oh, there's a roadblock. Like the snow's piled up too high on all these cars, and I have to walk past. How do I get past? I don't have a shovel. Oh wait, there was a signpost back there that was bent over. Maybe I can use the signpost as a shovel. And you go back and grab the signpost, and you come back and you shovel the snow. Like, it's that easy, right?
Yeah.
There are a couple puzzles that are slightly harder, but not by a lot. But the story is really effective.
Mm-hmm.
The whole game is punctuated by like this eerie wind sound and the sound of, snow crunching underfoot. The snow is falling down the entire time you're playing. So like you're walking along this terrain and you're meeting characters and finding new locations and finding objects, and the snow is falling the entire time. Every place you visit kind of contains a little story within it, kind of like the Fallout games, how you'll go in and just based on what was left behind, you can kind of piece together the last moments of this person's life.
Mm-hmm.
And that all builds into like a real narrative as you make your way into this town in the distance just to see if there's survivors.
Yeah.
It really kicks off where, so right after you find a house where this family kind of like tragically fell apart. As the sort of apocalypse kicked in. You find out through finding the youngest girl's June, her diary. Pretty much right after that, you run into a gang of like toughs called the Woodpeckers who are terrorizing this town. And then I don't want to spoil anything, but things go in this fucking crazy, unexpected direction.
That's cool.
The actual gameplay is just walking left and right, and then you can interact with something, there'll be a little, exclamation point.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what to do, you just walk left and right for a while until you run into enough exclamation points that you end up solving the problem.
Yeah.
Unlike a point and click game where you have to really think about your scenario. Like you can do it that way and you'll get through the game quicker.
Yeah.
But if you can't solve it, you just go left and right, right? And like do that enough times, it'll solve itself.
It looks so cool, honestly.
Yeah. Even when you're backtracking, like the game knows that you're backtracking.
Yeah.
So that sometimes will trigger this narration, and it'll use that time to flesh out the characters' backstories in a way that is really interesting, really satisfying. The only things I will say about it, number one, it makes you stop running when there's a run button, which is cool, but it makes you stop running while narration is happening. So it can sometimes be frustrating when narration pops up. And I didn't want it to be because I loved the narration, but it was frustrating that I got slowed down. So like something to sort of square that circle would have been better. Number two, the ending. The whole game's very well written. It's
How
like
long is it?
Hour and a half.
Okay, cool.
It's really impressive narrative, really interesting way to do an adventure game on the Playdate, which people have really, really struggled with. But the ending is very abrupt and kind of unsatisfying.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of the hardest things to do is conclude a story. Stephen King has yet to do it well. he's like the king of horror.
Get him! Yeah, no, I agree that concluding a story is really hard, and I think this game, I'll say, it concludes. It's just, it's not a very satisfying way.
Yeah.
There also is some narrative branching, but it's one of those kind of like nominal narrative branching where it's like, okay, you technically get different endings, but do you really?
Yeah. Sure.
Are they really all that different?
It seems like it's super worth playing, though. It reminds me, as soon as I saw the screenshot, reminds me of Enclosure, which is another kind of underrated adventure game that came out in the early 2000s. It was hard to run. It became hard to run, but I think now it's on Steam as like Enclosure 3D, which is weird to me. It's I don't know what's up with that. I'll have to look up like what the difference is, but same premise as you are in a closed circle situation because of the snow. Although in this one, it seems like you're not in closed circle because you are in fact journeying and like questing.
Yeah, it is very, very linear. Again, even though it technically has a branching narrative.
Yeah.
It is exceptionally linear.
I gotta say, I love a snowstorm for the purpose of period. No, I love a snowstorm for the sake of horror tropes and like horror story. It's one of my favorite things. I like, speaking of Stephen King, I like Storm of the Century. It's about a snowstorm. I liked Enclosure, snow. Favorite episodes of Murder, She Wrote is in like a ski lodge.
Oh,
and you're
really?
snowed in. Yeah.
Oh, that's really awesome.
I really like that shit.
Yeah, I mean this game has it really well, and it's about the horrors of man, of course, and about what we lose.
Yeah.
When we lose the structure of civilization.
Yeah.
And as punctuated by you being a character who is wandering around kind of collecting the pieces of civilization that tell the stories of humanity.
That's
awesome. It's really good. It's called Whiteout. It comes with season 2 of the Playdate, but all the season 2 games, unlike season 1, all the season 2 games you can buy separately.
Right.
So if you don't want to spend $30 on season 2, I think you could spend whatever, probably $10, $5, something like that on the Whiteout.
Yeah.
And
it's probably worth it just to buy them all, though, if you can.
I think so, because it's $12. Because Whiteout is half the price.
Yeah, you should just get all of them.
All of season 2. And season 2, I'm going to be talking about more season 2 games on this fucking podcast, because man, there's some good ones, and including one with art done by Julia Minamata. So
nice. Yay, Julia.
I haven't played that one yet, but I'm waiting for it.
Nice.
Playdate with Matt.
Yay! I'm so glad you got it fixed.
Me too. I am glad to have this segment back, and I'm glad to talk about these games again, because the Playdate is something really special. It's just a sort of thing that sometimes I can't believe it exists. I can't believe that
it's cool.
Somebody made something that they couldn't have made much profit on this fucking thing, right? Mm-hmm. They clearly did it because they love right, the idea of these older ways of playing games, these ways of playing games that were and I mean, I think even that's like the adding the crank is like it's like the idea of like when the first time you got shoulder buttons and you were like, holy shit, right?
True.
So, or I'm sure the first time somebody saw a D-pad after they'd been using the joystick for their whole lives.
I mean, I was even excited when I got my N64, and it was like this weird ass combination of a controller and a joystick, really, and a joystick,
right.
and a joystick in the middle of the controller, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm one of the only people who actually likes that controller.
All right. Actually, before we talk about what we're talking about today, Pangolins. As everyone saw, the name of this episode's Pangolins. I just want to go through a couple games that I've been playing since we last talked. I don't have anything big to talk about. I finished Mio Memories in Orbit.
Oh, cool.
There are 2 endings. There's the regular, kind of depressing ending, and then there's the true ending, which is somehow more depressing.
Oh God!
But it does end on a very hopeful note. It was just a really good game. If you like Metroidvanias, you could do worse for yourself than playing Mio. I think Mio is it's sort of it's got the depth of a Silksong, but the fluidity of the Ori games.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think you did mention that.
Yeah. So I finished Mio Memories in Orbit. Really loved it. I didn't finish Silksong.
Oh, me either.
That map just gets so complicated.
Oh, does it? Okay. Good to know.
Especially if you're trying to 100%, like if you're trying to get all the secrets and stuff.
Yeah.
Man, it's fucking hard. It's not hard as in, it might be, I wasn't gonna say like Mio has some of the hardest bosses and platforming challenges. Not some of the hardest bosses I've ever played in a Metroidvania game. As far as platforming challenges, it's up there. It's not quite as bad as like Lone Fungus, but it's worse than any, like harder platforming challenges than any Hollow Knight game.
Yeah.
But Hollow Knight has just a map that becomes so big, and the secrets are well hidden enough that it's like, fuck, I know there's a flea on the other side of this wall. I have no idea what side of the big blank space to even approach to try and get into it.
Yeah.
And I played a lot more of the 100-line Last Defense Academy, which is the half visual novel, half strategy tactics game by some of the developers of the Danganronpa games.
Oh, that's an expensive game. I didn't realize.
It is?
I have it listed here at $60.
Wow, I probably spent.
That's a AAA price.
Yes, I mean, I bought it on Steam, so I'm sure I bought it on sale, but I'm sure it was not cheap. But who can pass up a new Danganronpa game?
Not this guy.
Which isn't exactly what this is, but fuck, man, it's good.
Yeah,
it's
it looks
good.
Great.
The characters are great, and the loops are addictive.
Yeah. Honestly, this is a good game to segue into what we're talking about, just because of the, vaguely similar aesthetic.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So I'll say I also played a little bit of Steins Gate because of the game that we're about to talk about, which we're still pretending is a secret.
For some reason.
Because this game is so good at least the sort of tropes of a visual novel. I think we talked the last time when we talked about the first one of these games, we talked about a video producer on YouTube named Bowl of Lentils. And how he did this long video about the origins of Japanese visual novels, and how they sort of spun out of the idea of Japanese adventure games. And a lot of things that we call visual novels here are actually Japanese adventure games that have some of the tropes of visual novels. So we call them that.
Yeah.
And the game that we're talking about today is a lot like that. And it's so good at it that I immediately was like, I want to play more visual novels.
I do too. To be honest with you, it certainly inspired me. Like I think I texted you like, hey, these are easy to develop. Let's make a dating sim, because I think those are visual novels. Do you agree?
Oh man!
Oh, you don't agree?
If
you paused
again, if you watch that Bowl of Lentils video, there's a lot. He talks a lot.
Sorry, go on.
If you watch the Bowl of Lentils video, he talks a lot about the way that, again, all the things we call visual novels that are other things.
Sure.
And so I think based on what we as Americans, as American gamers, call visual novels, I think you are absolutely right.
Yeah.
That the dating sim genre is a visual novel. They are visual novels. But if we're going by like the strict definition, none of the shit that we call visual novels is visual novels.
No, I totally understand. It just it needs to be called something, right?
Yeah.
Like we have to define it in some kind of way. But yeah, I know what you mean.
That video was released in 2019. It's called The Origins of Visual Novels. Maybe we'll link it once again in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll link
like
it.
we did when we covered this first game. But what are we talking about today?
Today, we're talking about a game that we manifested, or maybe more so myself, because let's face it, I'm the one who went to you and was like, I really want another one of these games. But I know you were thinking it the whole time. I know you were.
Right. You're right. I thought it so hard.
You were thinking it
maybe,
so hard.
Just like you put pangolins in my head, I was thinking it so hard, I put it in your head.
And then I manifested it because I have that kind of power. You
manifested it for me. Yeah.
Because I'm a beautiful, stunning lady. Oh, well, yeah, that too. Yeah, I guess so. We're talking about Paranormasight, the Mermaid's Curse. The next, let's not call it a sequel, the next game in the Paranormasight franchise. And I'm so excited.
I am so excited as well. So what song should I play to get us out of here so we can talk about Paranormasight?
Mermy Swimmerino. Nailed it. Hey everyone, welcome back to Save Your Game. I am one of your stunning, enigmatic co-hosts, as I mentioned before. With me, as always, the
stunning,
enigmatic. Nope, because you're not getting that. You are the quest-worthy dude.
Quest-worthy.
Who is good at jumping, Matt Ocamp.
Oh, meaning like fair maidens would go on a quest to win my hand.
Definitely
rather than vice versa. Like rather than me having to go on a quest to win the hand of the fair maiden, the fair maiden goes on a quest to win my hand.
That's the premise of Jill of the Jungle, right?
Is it?
I thought so. I thought it was meant to be flipped. Like
and
by
hand,
bit.
I mean.
Anyway, here's Matt.
Hi.
While there was a break, I showed Matt more pictures of pangolins, and I'm happy to say that he did say
I did, yeah,
that one of those pictures was a little bit cute.
I found one of them cute, and I did one of the pictures. The pangolin looked like it had friggin' pinecone seeds as its little scoots.
Yeah, imagine a living pine cone.
Yeah,
there you go. Super cute.
Do we call them on a turtle? They're called scoots. Are they called a scoot on a?
I don't know.
On a different animal that has these like
I don't think
chunky thick scales.
We do now.
Okay.
Little scoots.
Scoots. That's what people that's what people call me, little scoots.
Little scoots. In high school you were known as
at high school, because at high school I didn't like to walk on my feet. I like to sit on the ground and pull myself along
and scoot
with my little hands. And this was high school. This was
Wow, that's really old for that.
What do you mean?
Nothing,
I dated a lot in high school.
Yeah, chicks dig it.
Yeah. They called me the little scoots, and then they slept with me.
Oh my god!
Sorry,
no,
sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm inappropriate today because I'm just so friggin' dang excited about this game. What did we play?
Matt, I already said this before. Don't you even listen to women?
I don't listen to women, and I forget everything the second it's told me.
It's Paranormasight, the Mermaid's Curse, the next installment of the Paranormasight franchise.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
I'm going to be really impressed if I just repeated that verbatim to what I said before.
It's a really incredible game. Do you want to? Okay, what the fuck is? Let's just set up from the top. What the fuck is Paranormasight to begin with?
That is such a fucking good question, though, and I would have to seriously. So, my instinct would be to call it an interactive fiction game or a visual novel.
Yeah.
Developed by Square Enix, formerly Squaresoft. They did the Final Fantasy games, which are JRPGs, which is nothing like this game, which is, again, it's more of a visual novel.
A minor RPG mechanic in this game,
yeah.
but we'll get to it. It's so funny that it's even in there.
And I do want to say that this is absolutely a Square game in the way that it's written. If Squaresoft, it's not Squaresoft, Square Enix, if they do anything right, it's making extremely complicated games and stories with a ton of Japanese lore that you may or may not retain, and you may just have to like disassociate while you're playing a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, it's definitely a visual novel, but it is told non-chronologically, which I think makes these games really special. You're following a story chart. Characters you meet in the game, they have their own stories. They're kind of going on parallel to the other people at the same time. Sometimes that comes into the mechanic and sometimes it doesn't. It's really special. I think actually that's the best part of this game, is the way that the story chart flows. And you would think, because of what we know about the Zelda games and how being non-chronological is so fucking confusing, I actually like that it's told non-chronologically here. It opens up, solutions and answers and conclusions to things. It's not. It keeps you stimulated, right? Because it is not in chronological order. It's non-linear. Yeah. So there's always something to think about.
And if there's a storyline that you're not loving, like, you can, like, you do have a choice about the path that you move through this game. And I don't mean what path the story takes. There is some of that, but I mean like you can go to different chapters at different times and the same things will happen in the chapters. So like you can be like, I'm really enjoying Avi and Cersei. I'm going to follow them until there's no chapters of theirs left, and then I'm gonna go back to Sato or whatever. And
I would say you can do that for the majority of it, but there are some chapters, let's say, you can't continue. Yeah.
Where it's like the Avi and Cersei story will end on a kind of a cliffhanger,
right?
Because you need to progress in Yumiko and Soto's story before you can open up the next chapter. But you can go on pretty long runs with especially Avi and Cersei, to be honest.
Yeah, you can go, I think, even longer than the previous game, the first installment. I think you can go longer on people's stories. I think the chapters are a little easier to understand. I think some of the puzzles, with exception maybe to the end, I think the puzzles and the questions they ask you throughout are easier. I think this flows very well and is a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a crazy story, but I do find that I was able to pay attention a little bit more with this story than the first story.
Well, so what are some other features that make, in your mind, a Paranormasight game?
Well, I mean, do we want to talk about the tropes that make it a Paranormasight game? Because it does seem like, now that we have two of them, what the writers want to focus on is Japanese lore, but also within the story, there's a big emphasis on curses and curse stones. And I was actually intrigued by that. I wasn't sure if they would bring that back from the first game, because they're not linked. These are separate stories. If they're linked, then it's vague on what they're linked on. But there's some crossover. Like they will reference the events of the first game, but it's largely completely. It's its
separate
own thing.
Story.
Yeah, it's its own thing. So I was actually really, I don't know, I was kind of excited to see a point of familiarity brought back. It's like, oh, the curse stones. I remember those. And
even a different tone, too. This game has a way different tone than the first game.
It's goofier, I think.
It's goofier. It's legitimately brighter.
Yeah, it's true.
Far less scary, I think.
Far less. Oh my God. I wasn't scared a single time.
I think you might still call this a horror game. There's still a lot of horror elements to it, but it's not very scary.
I think it's harrowing. I think this is
thrilling.
There's absolutely super dark and bleak plot points in this game.
Because the first game it would, the way the first game worked, you didn't know at first that there was going to be this story chart and these branching timelines, right?
Yeah.
In the first game, you are playing what appears to be a pretty straightforward horror visual novel.
Yeah.
And then suddenly your main character dies.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, what the fuck?
Yep.
And the only, like, the two characters you're introduced to at the very beginning, they're both dead. And so you're like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of, this weird guy in an old man mask shows up. And he's like,
the storyteller.
So, the storyteller he's called. He's like, oh, so you died. Like, what? And then he tells you, like, oh, well, let me take you to this story chart, and you can try try to make different choices now that you have a little bit more information.
Yeah.
And then so you go back and you do, and yeah, I mean, this game, you kind of know the story chart's coming. You know the story.
Yeah, you do.
Coming.
I assumed that was going to happen. I assumed that different characters were going to pop up, and that's how we follow it. And I'm glad I like the mechanic. I like that mechanic.
This game. So that first game, it starts off with the like it's a horror graphic or a horror visual novel, and then all of a sudden, you're in just like a thriller, like a paranormal thriller.
It's certainly like a mystery. There are little notes of noir, or at least how, maybe Japanese noir would work. Yeah. I love that. That's one of my favorite genres of all time is like thriller, right? So I think that's why I enjoyed it even more than it just being kind of a straightforward horror game.
So this second game, it starts as almost like a little slice of life, almost like, I don't know, like this. You start in Issa Bay in Japan, in this bright, sunny. You and your friend are going out. You're an ama diver, which is like a traditionally female type of kind of like pearl diver, or diver for like crustaceans and other sorts of seafood. That traditionally in Japan, these would be women who would hold their breath and dive to the bottom of the sea and collect what they can, and then like tied to a rope, and then climb, like pull on the rope and get pulled back up to the boat, and they collect what they can and then sell it. You are a young boy who is doing this in the 1980s with your friend, and it's very bright and it's kind of sweet. And whereas the first game starts kind of ominous and dark.
Yeah, it does.
And you start in the first game with a girl who is kind of a stranger to you and is sort of menacing. In this game, you start with a boy who is your best friend.
Yeah, and the tone is totally different.
The fucking opposite of menacing. This guy is... Yeah. This guy's the definition of like solid best friend.
Absolutely.
Like, he is the solid best friend trope from toe to tip. And he fucking rules. He rules the whole game. I love him so much.
Yeah, he's awesome. Azami,
yeah.
Azami and Yuza. Or Yusa?
Yes.
It could be, if that Z, I'm not really sure how that's pronounced, but...
Oh, I'm not either.
I think in Forza, it's Forza. So I want to say it's Yutsa, but if anybody, feel free to correct me.
We're going to get a lot of pronunciation wrong here.
Absolutely, we are.
I might have even got Issa Bay wrong, so it's like, who knows?
I thought it was Issa, but yeah, no, it's a little tough. Because these are names and words I've never heard before, ever, so it's tough.
Some of them are actual Japanese words in actual Japanese places, and some of them are fictional. So, yes. But yeah, so it starts, and you start, basically, with like a diving game. Do you want to tell him about the diving game?
Oh man, the diving game is so fun, you guys.
So I could have just done that. That could have been its own game.
I say we manifest it. So you actually do get to dive in this game, which is interesting. It's a little interesting, almost mini game within a visual novel. You don't get a lot of those, but you're tied to a rope. You dive into the sea. swim around. You look for, crustaceans, but specifically abalones, which is it's just a more expensive shell or sea creature to collect. And there's only 2 controls. It's just clicking on the mouse. And every time you come back to the surface with stuff, you can level up. Yes, this is a mini game in a visual novel where you can level up your diving skills.
Yeah.
Which is actually important. You do want to level up to a certain extent.
And people will talk about it. They'll be like, how did you they'll be like, how did you make it to level whatever you made it to so quick?
Yeah.
Very
I love an aware game like that knows, and I'm not talking about like a meta game where it's referencing me, the player. I mean a game where it knows what I've done.
What I've done. Yeah.
Have done. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like this game will, at one point, it'll reference the amount of times you failed at, I don't want to give away too much, but reference how many times you failed at that game. Yeah. And you'll be like, oh, wait. Like it's almost like a revelatory moment where it's revealing something about the character. And they'll reference how many times you lost, and that will be your cue as a player to make a big realization about your character. Anyway, very, very cool. This game, that's another staple, and I want, sorry, we can get back to the diving game in a second, but that's another staple of these Paranormasight games, is this meta layer where you, the player sitting at your computer, are a character in the game, and things that happen, mechanics that happen in the game that you feel are just sort of perfunctory to make the story move along, the game will turn them, the story turns them into narrative, like it gives them narrative justification. It's got all these meta layers that work really well.
Yeah, it really does. And like I said, not the annoying kind of meta where it's referencing life beyond the game, like the legit, like the player, right? Like, oh, he made me do this in this game, and I'm gonna reference a Sierra game randomly.
Oh yeah, right, exactly.
This is more like the game is aware.
The game's aware, and it's saying like, in both games at some point, I don't think this is too big of a spoiler. Both games at some point ask you who you are.
Yeah.
And the answer to that question is within the story of the game. If that makes sense. And if it doesn't, fucking play the game, and then it'll make sense to you.
As an aside, do you want to know the first time I realized a game was doing that? Like the very first time, the very first game that did that to me?
Yes, I do.
You're not going to guess it. It's You Don't Know Jack. In You Don't Know Jack, sometimes the questions can be recycled, especially if you play it a lot, which I did because I really liked that game. I thought it was super innovative at the time. And if you like buzz in on a question before the answers pop up, it'll clock you. It'll be like, wait a minute, have you had this question before? And that was like my first experience with a game doing that, and being aware that I had already made a choice.
And suddenly you feel seen.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I don't want to be perceived.
You start looking at the Cheeto dust on your fingers, and you're like, oh, you can't see that, right?
It was great. But yeah, it's kind of, the game clocking you like that. I love.
All right, so you were talking about the diving game.
Yeah. So I don't know how many spoilers we're really going to do here, but I'll let you decide. But I'm going to say that something very important happens.
I think we can spoil. Okay. I think we can kind of spoil this because it's right at the beginning. It's before the credits.
It is right there. And this is kind of another hallmark of what these games are kind of going for. It's got one of those long intros. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even know if this game hasn't started yet. You have no idea. And so, doing my little diving, I find a pit. Gotta go into the pit.
Gotta go into the pit.
And much to my unpleasantness, a character, a ghostly character that looks just like our character, Yusa, with blank ass eyes, is like holding out their hand to me. And I think, I think I know. We take the clone, quote, clone's hand, and I assume he drags us down under in the pit, and we die. We die in that situation. But this is a Paranormasight game, so do you really die? Probably not, because we're just going to go right back to the story chart and figure out different things. Or maybe even more realistically, there's a twist. And I don't know what you were thinking at that point in the game, but I thought that Yusa was just dead the whole time. The whole time, I thought he was just simply dead.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is interesting because I'll say generally when you die in this game, it takes you back to the story chart.
Yes.
And the storyteller is like, oh, well, you died. Maybe you can try a different tactic. Or it'll be like, oh, well, that was one of the endings. Do you think you can get a better ending?
Right.
That doesn't happen this time.
Right. This is not an ending per se.
It just takes you... It just tells you failed your dive. And then, which happens sometimes as you're playing the diving minigame, you can sometimes, if you don't come up for air soon enough, you will fail. It'll say dive failed. Right. And it'll just restart you at the beginning, like restart you on the boat. Mm-hmm. That's what it does here.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, definitely something just happened.
Yeah, definitely.
And I have to... And this is Paranormasight, so that thing is going to be significant.
Right.
But did it happen as part of the story, or is it like, did it already happen, or is it something that's going to happen later, or like how did this just end? Like, what just happened here?
I assumed immediately that it was part of the story, and I assumed that our character was dead. But not dead, like living, like undead.
Right.
That's what I was thinking that entire time. Up until a point where I understood more, I think, of the story and what was happening.
So this story, so you do get to bring this up to Azami.
Yes.
And he tells you about like a legend in Japanese folklore called the Tomokazuki. And the Tomokazuki is like it's like a doppelganger legend. You know, every culture. Because it's just such a primal fear, the idea of you meeting yourself in the world.
Yeah.
So this is a doppelganger legend in the Ama diving tradition, where these are these underwater yokai. They appear to you holding what's the name of the shellfish?
The abalone.
Yeah, they appear to you holding the abalone, the most, expensive of these shellfish, the most valued of these shellfish, and if you take it, they drag you underwater and kill you and replace you.
It's almost, and this is on point, it's almost kind of like a siren or a Rizulka, which I think is interesting because this game is based on mermaid legend.
Right.
More specifically in Japan and what that means, and how it relates to kind of the Western world's view of mermaids. It's so interesting, and I love mermaids.
Yeah,
I love mermaids. Like,
okay,
that's what I used to draw all the time. Little Mermaid was my Disney movie. Man,
they
we all
reference
had
the Little
one.
Mermaid in this game.
They do.
A lot,
and that makes sense because in the Little Mermaid, even that's a siren story, right? We've got the voice and a mermaid using her voice to enchant human men. I think that's really interesting. And certainly, even at the end, there's another reference. At least in the ending that I got, there you might have gotten different endings, but there was more references there, and I just love I love mermaid lore. I think even because I liked it more than the Seven Mysteries of Honjo, I was able to pay attention more. And anytime there was like a question, from the storyteller or from someone else that was kind of checking to see if I was paying attention, I would get him right. I'm like, yeah,
right.
It's this guy. I know that. Because I liked it so much.
So yeah, we'll have to talk about those questions from the storyteller because they are interesting.
They can be tough,
but they do call them mermaids.
They do
in this game. In Japanese legend, they're called ningyo.
Okay. And they might be doing that just for for the appeal of America and Western culture.
Yeah, I mean, they use real Japanese folklore about mermaids, and even like not only just real legends, but they'll refer to real drawings of mermaids from from like 600 to 800 years ago.
Yeah.
So
I do like that they reference. I mean, my favorite reference was the Fiji mermaid reference, which is a very famous hoax by P.T. Barnum. It was he claimed he found a mermaid. It was a monkey sewed to a fish. What can I say? Yeah. And that was known as the Fiji mermaid, and that is a reference in this game. So it feels like, man, the writers did their diligence when it came to like kind of exploring mermaids and their place in literature and in media and how we view them. I thought it was great. I loved it.
I think so too. You're doing this diving mini game, and then eventually you got to give up and you go home, and everybody in the town is sort of mad at you for like, why are you diving? And not just because you're a boy, but because your family, your mom and dad died in a disaster out at sea about 5 years prior. There was like a big storm, and a lot of people died in this big storm, and the entire town blames your mom for it. They think that she was a curse bearer, which if you played the first game, you'll know what a curse bearer is.
Basically, they have a curse stone, and if certain conditions are met, they are able to fulfill horrible curses. So in this case, the curse stone caused this storm, this horrible, horrible, horrible storm that sunk ships essentially and killed people.
Or at least that's what the people in the town think.
And Yutsa is the only survivor that we know of. He's the only survivor. As this storm was happening, your mom put you in a little buoy, a little floating thing, which is a risk because there is a storm going on, but Yutsa survived. And I think that kind of explains his storyline and what he's looking for. This is a very Japanese storytelling thing, especially in gaming. You get a lot of characters, right? Right now we're starting with Yutsa, and their stories are linked somehow, and they all have goals that are kind of linked to the same thing. The goals might not be the same. Yutsa's goal is different from other characters' goals, but they're all linked to this thing. So this disaster that happened is referenced many times in this game. People know about it.
Interesting. Okay, you haven't gotten to... So another thing about these Paranormasight games, they have these story charts, and the story charts lead to various endings. You have gotten a couple endings.
Yes.
But you have not gotten...
one horrible and one happy-ish.
And you've not gotten the final ending, right?
I don't think I've gotten the best ending because something feels off.
Yeah. So you say best ending, and I think like in in other games I would talk about it as in, oh, these are all endings, and if you want to keep playing until you get the best ending, like that's the best thing. But in Paranormasight, I'd say it's almost not like you're not finished the game until you get every ending.
Right. Yeah, true.
The game wants you to get... the other endings aren't actually endings. They are intended to be stops on the journey, even though they call them endings.
It's almost like Clue. It's like it could have happened this way, or it could have happened this way.
Right. So here's okay. I think Yuza's goals are not all that different.
Oh, yeah. When I say different, I do mean that they are linked, but like language-wise, I think people have some different goals. For example, they're the foreigners that are in this game, the Americans, let's call them.
Yeah.
They have kind of a different goal, but especially the main guy. His goal is just kind of silly, honestly, but it goes with his character, so I'm not too mad about it.
Oh, man. All right, one thing I think that is interesting about this game is early on, I'm going to 100% agree that all these characters, not even early on, almost all the way through the game, most of these characters have very different goals.
Right.
Or at least seem to. I think the further you go, the more you realize, oh, wait, a lot of these characters actually have the exact same goal.
Right. No, I see what you mean there. Because in the end, what they really want to do is stop another disaster from happening. Well, right. One person doesn't have that goal. You know what I mean, though? Like, there's...
Well, I still think... I think maybe we should talk about this again a little bit once you get to the final ending.
Oh, geez. Okay.
But you might still feel the same way. But I think...
I guess in other words, then a big goal and a big theme throughout this game is that another disaster is going to strike. People are feeling that way. And everybody's trying in their own way to stop it.
That's true, yeah. So from the very get-go, Yuza's goal is to meet a mermaid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, again, he says this really early on, so we're not going to spoil, anything that's not... Like, this is all first chapter stuff.
Yeah.
His main goal is to meet a mermaid because one saved him.
That is what he believes, is that he was this... Like I said, it was kind of risky putting him on a buoy. So I think Yuza comes to the conclusion that, or slightly remembers that, well, I was saved. Because how would I have survived otherwise?
Right. He has a memory of being saved by a mermaid.
Yeah.
And that's how he didn't drown.
Mm-hmm.
So then you end up meeting these other characters. You meet his friends back on the island. They seem to have their own goals. There's Sato and Tsukasa.
Tsukasa, yeah.
And then there's sort of these this sort of hard cut to these two, and they are very important. They're incredibly important. Mm-hmm. I'd say Sato is probably the most important character in the entire story.
Yeah. When her story started going, I'm like, this rules. This story is so good.
So but that might be, to explain that would be a little spoilery. So why don't we cut to two paranormal detectives?
Yeah, it's so fun. It's almost like the X-Files.
Right. They have
their own little that's what they are. They're a paranormal investigative team, and it's a man and a woman.
And you're kind of just like, what the fuck? This is so, like, this is such this hard cut from what I've been doing so far to now I'm suddenly two paranormal detectives who are researching this corpse, this mummified mermaid corpse that washed up on the shores of the Mai prefecture, the other side of Issa Bay.
Not in the city that Yuza's in. They're in a different area.
It's like the mainland of Issa Bay, where which is a real place. And Yutza and like all the characters we just mentioned, they all live on Kamishima, which
Kamishima
is a fictionalized version of a city or of a real island called Kamishima. This is like almost identical.
Yeah, almost identical. And it means what, like turtle?
Yes. Yeah. I should also want to say there's some other stuff you learn at the beginning there that is really cool. I want to like sprinkle in some of the Japanese folklore that this game is referencing as we go. So another thing that we learn here is that all AMA divers' clothes that they wear diving, they wear these symbols called the Seiman and Douman. Mm-hmm. One is like a pentagram in a circle. The other one kind of looks like a
crosshatch, maybe?
Yeah, like a tic-tac-toe board, but bigger. With 4 lines on one, 4 vertical lines, 5 horizontal lines. So these are real, and these are really worn by AMA divers to protect them against evil and bring them good luck. And one of the things that's meant to protect them against is the Tomokazuki. I think
Tomokazuki.
Tomokazuki is my favorite N64 platform.
That's the new Banjo-Kazooie
game. So the Seiman and Douman are real symbols based on 2 legendary like priests, like wizard priests from Japanese history called Abe no Saime. I'm going to get all these pronunciations wrong. You don't have to correct me. I understand. And Ashiya Douman. And these are... So Abe no Saime was a Onmyoji, which is like a member of like a kind of like a priest class, like a wizard. But like an official one.
Like, but it's because there's so many official wizards out there.
Like, yeah, there were. Like, Merlin was an official wizard.
What made him official?
He worked for the friggin' king.
Well, whatever.
So
fake.
So this is what it's. I mean, that's kind of the way these legends are. Is like these are spiritual advisors who could cast spells, who work for the government or are like close advisors of royalty.
Yeah.
And so Abe no Saime, he was part of the Department of Divinities, which was founded in the 8th century, wasn't dissolved until 1871.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, and they would handle religious affairs and upkeeping shrines and stuff like that. But it was also like they were responsible for keeping curses away and like doing like spiritual advising. And I think the paranormal affairs department in this game is kind of based on this Department of Divinities. So Saime, he lived from like 921 to 1005 AD, and he had this rival named Douman, Ashiya Douman, who like they had multiple magic duels. And
I didn't know they were against each other.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, so like Douman is often used to be often portrayed as like the evil one, and Saime is like the good one, and so people wear these Seiman and Douman as like protection from evil and again for good luck.
So you think that the 2 paranormal investigators that's kind of their role?
Oh, I don't know. I think there is some parallels. For example, there is a scene, and I'm not going to give away what this ties to, but you'll know immediately. Mm-hmm. Or there is a story in which Seiman, their final duel, he summoned a bunch of Shikigami to defeat Douman, which has a very strong parallel in this story.
That does, yeah, true.
But anyway, so that's what Seiman and Douman, those symbols, are real, and they're worn by AMA divers, and that's what they're based off of.
Nice. Since we're talking about the characters now, we can maybe talk about a few others. So yeah, there's this storyline with the two detectives, and they're from the paranormal division. Mm-hmm. And you're kind of led to believe that the woman, there's something a little off about her, but that's everyone in this game. Like every character that you are playing, mm-hmm. there is something weird about them. But yeah, there's just something a little strange about the female. The guy is flat out a psychic. That is what they call him. He has mm-hmm. like special ability.
He can do spells from like the get-go.
Yeah, Soto, I really like his character.
Yeah.
I thought his character was badass. I really liked him. And it becomes clear that these characters also become aware of the curses, the disaster, and the feeling that another one might occur.
Yes.
And then we have Avi Barnum, and
Cersei. I would say Cersei. Her name is Cersei Lunarlight.
Yeah.
People pronounce this differently, but she's like, that name is based off a demigod, that's half sea nymph. From Greek mythology called Circe. Cool. Or Circe. She's the daughter of Perse and Helios. Okay. She's the one who poisoned the maiden Scylla to turn into a sea monster, the sea monster from the Odyssey. Yeah. She was exiled to an island, and she had an affair with Odysseus, and she turned men into pigs.
I mean, who didn't? Who didn't have an affair with Odysseus? Let's be honest.
And who didn't turn men into pigs?
A lot. What I thought was really striking about Avi and Circe is now they're Americans. They have come to Japan on a mission.
Circe is
English.
English.
Yes.
You're right. Avi is American. Sorry.
Avi is American. That's right. And I guess Circe is like a distant relative of Avi's. Mm-hmm. And he kind of wanted to use her spirit sense for his own goal. This fucking guy, this character, so dramatic, always doing a duck face. Actually, everybody's mugging. Everyone's like pulling weird faces in this game. He is a fantasy author, kind of obsessed with this romantic idea of mermaids and Japanese lore. And really, seemingly, his goal initially is to just find a mermaid. I don't think so. There's something really important that we need to say before we go further, and that is there's the belief, or was the belief, that mermaids can give you immortality. And there's a few ways that the game says that they can do it. One of the early beliefs was ingesting, the flesh of a mermaid, and that would grant you immortality. But then other myths say that it needs to be combined with something, and that's not going to do it alone. And that is a big, big plot point for this game, is the search for immortality. Are there immortals on the island now? And why is this disaster going to happen again? And how are they all linked?
Mm-hmm. And that is also a real Japanese legend. The idea that the flesh of Ningyo, again, I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Nothing we can do about it. That they
absolutely nothing.
That they can turn you into they can grant you immortality, or at least very long life. And a lot of the stuff, a lot of the legends that they talk about in this game, like Yao Bakuni, the 800-year Buddhist priestess, was a young girl who ingested mermaid flesh, lived 800 years, and then wandered around. This was a 15th century legend that she just wandered around Japan.
She had to become a nun because, you can't just be... You don't age, by the way. That's a little suspicious to most people. So she became a nun and kind of, ostracized herself. And they're called 800-year immortals,
which I'm sure has like an actual name in Japanese, but in this game they're just called 800-year immortals, and everybody's like, I didn't know there was a word for it. And it's like, well, that's a bunch of words and it's just a description. So I'm sure there's like a word in Japanese, but that's a real, that's a real folklore. That's real legend. And it also does tie into some clans from the like Issei Bay area, the Tairo, in the, you know, one of the great pieces of Japanese literature, the Book of the Heike, again, pronouncing some of these wrong, which is a big part, like that history and those legends are a big part of this game, and the not just the background of this game, but the literal story of this game.
And I also like that the writers, they used these legends and these stories and wrote some really good themes about like curses and the legend of those curses and resentment from clans and from mermaids. And they actually like took those what are documented in Japan and made some really good stories with it.
Made some really good fiction out of it.
Yeah. No, it all tied together.
I mean,
really, really well.
Even that story of 3 mermaids being caught in a net in the Issei Bay and
I think that's one of the most important ones.
And presented to Tairo no Tadamori, who is one of the most important historical figures in this story, and that he rejected them, and that a fisherman then ate them and said, it tasted good, but nothing else happened. Like that, they tell that story in the game, but one of the game really revolves around these the Tairo clan and the 3 mermaids that live in Issei Bay, and the idea that mermaid flesh grants one immortality.
Yeah. I also think one of the best themes of this game, and maybe it has a little bit to do with the lore, it certainly brings it to light, is that all the mermaids we're referencing here are women. They're female. And all the divers, ama divers, are usually also women. And there are just very, very strong themes of the resentment of scorned women and hurt women who have been mistreated and tortured, and it kind of goes like, yes, that happens in the legends, right? We're talking about mermaids who were mistreated or eaten, like just completely mishandled, no respect for mermaids. And I feel like that's trying to cross over into the modern day stories too. There's a character named Kikiku who feels dismissed by her father, even. Sato has her own, stories of being mistreated and all of these things just causing major resentment. And that's kind of how these curses came about, right? As one of the mermaids, one of the 3 mermaids, was so mistreated that she held on to resentment, and it caused a curse.
Yes, and also the difference between righteous and non-righteous resentment, and there's like the resentment that that one of the mermaids holds on to from being tortured, but then there's another resentment that that is based entirely in pride, that haunts Sato for her whole life.
Yeah.
And really comes to bear at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Or really close to the end of the game. And is just sort of another, it's a way that men's obsessions. And there is a way to look at this game in a non-gendered way. They talk about how there's mermaids that aren't women.
Yeah, and ama divers too.
And I think there are people of both genders in this game who have obsessions that end up hurting people of both genders. But
these are just one of the stronger themes, I think.
There is I think if it's meaningful to you, there are non-gendered ways to look at this, but I think the gendered themes are very strong.
I do too. I think they're strong. I think they're very meaningful, and
yes.
Yeah. I think that maybe that's why I liked this storyline better. Maybe it just resonated.
So you like this better than Seven Mysteries? Oh, because you were able to pay attention to the lore a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. The more you love a story, the more you're going to pay attention to it. So yeah, I mean, I love both games. They're both really good, but yeah, something resonated with me in this one.
Also, just another cute little tidbit. Arnev Barnum, you already mentioned how P.T. Barnum was the sort of originator of the mermaid hoax.
Yep.
At least in America.
Yeah.
There had been mermaid hoaxes all across the world forever, but this was
Sure.
like the big one.
This was a huge one. He thought he really had something there.
and then Arnav is Sanskrit for ocean or sea.
Yes.
Or cosmic ocean, the vastness of human potential, which all have a bearing in this game. Also, he looks like Indiana Jones, but with a beard.
He does.
And he fulfills sort of like, he's like, if there's a silly Indiana Jones, is kind of like his role in this game. He's like
super dramatic. Like he's there for the thrill, for the adventure. I don't think he's even interested in immortality. I think he is a romantic and just wants to like know if mermaids are real, because that's better than any story he could ever. It's so weird. It's so funny. Also, as a side note, because his name was, Avi Barnum, like P.T. Barnum, and they were referencing the Fiji mermaid, I thought Circe's name was kind of like Cirque, as in circus. I thought it was linked. Maybe to me, that's too much of a coincidence to not be linked, right?
Huh.
I think that's interesting.
I wonder. So, sometimes people pronounce her Circe. I just decided to look it up because that's going to be an easy, since it's Greek and Roman. It's going to be easier for me to figure out that pronunciation than any of these Japanese pronunciations.
But even the way it's spelled and the way it looks, you know what I mean?
So a lot of people pronounce it Circe. The Greek way, there are two ways to pronounce it: Circe or Kirke. Kirke.
Okay. Yeah, because they use the K sound a lot.
Kirke. Circe or Kirke. I'm still okay. Even that I can't quite figure out.
I still think there could be a link, because like they could have named her literally anything.
So he's like this. Yeah. So he's like a fantasy author who's just after adventure. She's like a baby sorceress. She's
they call her an exorcist, which I thought was interesting.
That is interesting. But she casts spells, and she is a member of. She's like a rogue member of the Paranormal Affairs division. She like, in fact, as you find out about her when you're playing the two police, and they get told they get told, hey, if you see her, can you send her back to the Paranormal Affairs division, because she's like in the wind.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, and she's only 15, by the way. Yes. Another very well-known kind of Japanese trope is that kids are adults, man. Like, they're doing all the adult things. If you've played the Final Fantasy games, they act and are treated like adults in very adult situations.
Yes.
And I think Circe is probably the most adult out of all the adults out of everyone in this game. Also, I want to bring up, there was a character, I don't know if you felt this way, that I thought would have a much bigger role and then disappeared for the majority of the game and then kind of came back. Do you know can you guess who I'm referring to?
There's a couple characters you could be referring to. One, okay, I'll just say a couple of them just by, one was a cop.
It's not that one.
One was a veteran ama diver.
Not that one either, but very heartbreaking.
One you never even meet in the story, who is a sorcerer.
No, not that one either.
One is a old man who you only meet once, but he looms large in the story.
I actually thought his presence was pretty good and pretty well timed. I'm actually referring to Shotaro.
Okay, yeah, so that's the last one I was going to say. One is a young boy who Oh boy. Okay.
See, this is let me say, this is not the problem. I don't want to call it a problem, but one of the things in talking and dissecting a game like this is there is so much story, so many things are going on with the characters, so much lore is being dropped on you. I think it's safe to say that you should not beat yourself up if you're playing this game and you don't understand every single part. I think we've talked about this in games before, where there's just so much dumping of exposition, so much lore, that it just sounds like they're making up stuff to sound like smart. What was the game that we said that about? We specifically, a game we talked about kind of triggered this conversation.
That was giving a bunch of lore that had nothing to do with the game. Because I think all this lore
that we got weary on, that we were just like, Jesus, I don't understand this, but I have to pretend to understand.
I don't remember.
So I think even though in this game and in the first game, it's not that you have to pretend to understand. It's just that there is so much.
Let yourself get overwhelmed. Yeah, let yourself feel overwhelmed. It's okay.
Like there were times where I'm like, I don't remember this. I don't know what they're talking about. But what I do understand is the basic story. I do understand the characters' motivations. So I'm kind of being forgiving on myself for not remembering every single urban legend, every single character.
And there's a lot of characters. And Avi... Arnav, aka Avi, he makes fun of this at one point. Is a lot of the historical figures have very similar names.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And he talks about this, and I mean it's just the way it's just the way Japanese names work. The same as my dad. His last name was Allcamp, and his dad's last name was Allcamp. So, Tairo no Tadamori is the father of Tairo no Kiyomori.
Right.
Right.
And it's a lot. It's a lot of like, this figure did this. This person triggered this curse. This curse is separate from this other curse and was triggered by the resentment from one of these three mermaids who all have weird names. It can be a lot.
Which is interesting. So that when they invent characters, like the mermaids all have very, very different names from each other.
They do, yeah.
But when
like
they
the fates, right? Like the three fates. That's kind of what it reminded me of. Yeah. Diving deep here.
I'll have to think about whether their stories and their themes, because each mermaid has a very, very different story and guiding a theme that guides their story. And as we already said, one of them is resentment. Let's say another one, if we think about Little Mermaid, another one is curiosity.
Sure. Absolutely. Or a longing, a longing for a different life. Yeah, that's a big one in this game. Mm-hmm. Goodness.
So then but when they can come up with their own characters, they clearly try to make the names memorable. But when they can't, like when they're talking about the Heike, it's rough. Tairo no Masamori, Taira no Tadamori, Taira no Kiyomori, Taira no Shigemori. Like they can't change those names because that's historical shit. But so one of the things that helps, again, allow yourself to be overwhelmed. Don't beat yourself up about it. And, you can still understand a lot about the game if there's some of this that's not sticking in your head. Mm-hmm. But they do, like a lot of Japanese visual novels, they do give you files that you can peruse. There are, 53 different files that will tell you about characters, curses, history, locations, and some of it, a lot of it does tie into the story, but sometimes there's some stuff in there that's just like fucking interesting to read.
That's true. Yeah, I was gonna say that as well. It is you can definitely clock this game as one of you're gonna learn stuff too, whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
And I will say the files, It's a lot, man. It's on top of being a very narrative heavy game. There's so many files.
I know.
I'm just like, oh God.
I've had them open the entire time we've had this conversation,
nice.
so I can reference
Nice.
them. But I how did you, when a file would come up, when you were talking to a character and it was like, oh, your files have been updated.
Yeah.
Did you stop to read them, or did you just keep going with it? Me too.
I did stop to read them because I did find this very interesting. I found all the lore. I
loved it.
Yeah, so I read it right away.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. And I read every word of.
Yeah, so did I.
I fucking loved everything this game had to teach me, and there are two areas of folklore that I am woefully underinformed on. One of them is Asian folklore and the other one's African folklore. This has reinvigorated my desire to learn about Japanese folklore, because I have some books on it and I've learned and I know a little bit about it, but man, this was all so fascinating. And then researching how much of this was real folklore was like, holy shit. I
have like a passing knowledge of Asian folklore, because a lot of it is like in the arts and stuff, so like pottery and things of that nature. You learn a lot about the folklore, and it might sound trite, and I don't really fucking care, but I like a lot of like Japanese media, like, you know, Studio Ghibli, and I really do learn a lot about the lore. Like, I knew what the Shikigami was before even playing this game, and I'm so happy it's in this game because, man,
because you got to look at it and go, I know that one.
Not only do I know that, but it is one of the puzzle solutions, and I kid you not, it is one of the coolest solutions that anyone's ever thought of.
Okay, yeah.
Adventure game. I'm like, that's brilliant. I love that. That's amazing, and I love it, and it's beautiful.
So we've talked very vaguely about a lot of the story and specifically about some of it. I don't think we want to get more in depth than that. If you've played the game, some of this hopefully will have been meaningful. If you haven't, hopefully it'll be intriguing or at least a little interesting. Let's talk about the gameplay a little bit before we close out. Yeah, so most of this game was visual novelty.
I think even more so than the first game. If I'm recalling correctly, which I do think I am, I have a pretty good memory. I did find myself getting stuck more in the original Paranormasight. To me, this one is way more visual novelty, way more flowing. Yeah, extremely narrative heavy. Go on though.
Well, this is what I was going to say is like, I think the puzzles, I think in the first game, the puzzles happen a lot quicker. One of the, or at least a lot earlier, and then they sort of fade away. One of the early puzzles in the first game we talked about, and is so funny, is there's a curse that affects you when you hear it, and your solution is to turn down the fucking volume in your actual game.
Oh, I remember. Yes, I remember.
So good. Now,
they were trickier. They were trickier puzzles in the first one.
So in the first, I hate to keep doing that to you, but there is like an hour of this game you haven't finished, and so much happens in that hour that's why I keep having to go like, well, because so much happens. So in the first game, the puzzles are front loaded. They happen a lot towards the beginning, and then there's less puzzles the further you go. In this game, the puzzles are more backloaded. They happen more towards the end. And the puzzle you were just talking about.
Oh, yeah, the coolest puzzle ever. Yeah.
Is very cool and very tough. You don't see it coming. And all of a sudden somebody's just like, all right, the decisions. And I think this is on purpose because you're supposed to feel the pressure that the character feels. So all of a sudden they turn to you and they're like, all right, man, it's on you. You tell us exactly what to do. And if you tell us to view things, where everyone's going to die. And if you tell us too many things, that's going to waste time and everyone's going to die. And so you have to, they're like, think about everything you know about every one of the characters.
Yeah.
And you tell everybody what to do for the next couple. Like, there's like,
End game is tough, man. And I think I was even texting you. I'm like, man, I was so proud of myself for getting, these information questions right. Like, who was the name of the mermaid who holds the most resentment? I'm like, I know that. I know that answer because I've been paying attention. And then you get to those end game puzzles, and it is very tense. And I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. It's literally just like, think about everything you know about the characters.
Oh, no.
Now, here is a list of the characters, and each of them have 3 verbs.
Yeah.
And you have to pick the right characters and the right verbs. And if you pick too many, again, everybody dies. And if you pick too few, everybody dies. If you pick the wrong verbs,
it's bad. Yeah.
Everybody dies. So it's okay. That is the second hardest puzzle in the game.
What's interesting is that is a hard puzzle, but once I saw what it did, I'm like, that is brilliant and it makes sense. But what do you think the first hardest one is?
Did you have to go to the somebody offers you hints? Did you have to go to the hints?
No.
To solve that one? Yeah, me neither. Which I was really proud of.
But again, I don't have the best ending,
I died a couple times. Well, no, I'm just saying in the plan. If you got the plan puzzle right, you got the plan puzzle right. You don't have to revisit it.
Right.
But I died a few times before I got the plan puzzle right.
Okay.
Okay. The hardest puzzle is the puzzle that you are basically the one that you're on right now.
Okay.
So there's one puzzle after that is not very hard. And it's just about it's actually about getting Avi's last 2 endings.
Okay. Yeah.
But the puzzle to get the best ending is a couple steps long.
Okay.
And it involves thinking. Okay, it involves solving who you are.
Right, I figured it might.
Who
because
the player...
storyteller said that. Yeah.
It involves figuring out who you, the player, are, which is never said in the game.
Yeah.
It also involves figuring out... It also involves thinking about... Oh my god, how do I even say this vaguely? It involves thinking about the structure of the game from like, oh man, how does the story interact with the user interface of the game? Similar to the volume puzzle, but weirder.
Okay, interesting. I think I can get to it. Do you think I can get to it?
I needed to use the hint in the game.
Okay.
And then, because there is an in-game hint, the storyteller is like, "Hey, do you need me to point you in the right direction?"
Oh, okay.
And
I don't mind if that happens. And
he said something, and I was like, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about." And then I just slowly crawled my way to a solution. It was almost like solving a puzzle in Blueprints. It was just like, okay, I'm going to try something. No, that was absolutely asinine. Okay, I'll try something else just based on my observations. And then you're like, okay, I think I know what it's asking of me, but I don't know where to go to do what it's asking of me.
Yeah.
And this sounds bad, but when you get it, it's so fucking clever, and just like the first game, it breaks open your experience of being a player in a way that is just kind of mind-blowing. You're kind of like, holy shit, like I had a role. My role in this story, my role in this world was bigger than I ever thought it was.
That's cool.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. You're going to.
I'm gonna get there.
I know you're gonna play this puzzle, and you're gonna fucking love it, and you're going to be like, "Oh my god, that was insane! That was a crazy puzzle." And hopefully you'll be like, "And that ending ruled."
Yeah, I'm like pretty okay with the ending I got, but these games are made to be played almost to completion, I think.
There is, yes, agreed, and there's one story that I think you know very little of.
I'm gonna tell you off recording, just in case what my theory is a spoiler, because I don't want to. So I'll tell you off recording some of my thoughts.
We're gonna cut. You guys will hear a hard cut for a second, so we're just gonna talk off recording just for a second. Okay.
Am I on the right path? I think I am.
In a sense. In a sense.
I mean, this is a weird game, so I'm not expecting to be completely on point here.
You were in the ballpark.
Thank you. I'm usually pretty perceptive with storytelling. You know,
there is a whole story. This is the thing that happens in these Paranormasight games. This is another thing that ties these together, is that there are stories happening behind the stories that you're seeing that you don't know of. And suddenly somebody will they'll turn like that. What was that game? Fez. It'll just turn it'll turn 90 degrees, and suddenly you'll be like, "Oh my god, there was this whole structure here that I didn't even see."
Yeah.
So there is something like that you are missing. There's an entire story that was happening all along that you don't know yet. And once you know that story, if you're like me, you'll cry.
Aww.
There's an emotional depth here that you are definitely, your theories are brushing up against, but you haven't, but you don't yet know the shape.
Right. I don't know and I know I don't, because I have gotten scenes where I'm like, where is that going? And so I know that I am missing a storyline here.
Yes.
So hopefully I'll get to that. I mean, that's my goal, right? Is to get to what I haven't discovered yet.
Here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried loading your game?
Yeah.
Or do you just click continue?
No, I've loaded maybe one time.
Okay.
Do I need to load my game?
You don't need to.
Okay.
But I would suggest you load your game.
Yeah, and actually, when I stopped playing earlier, I did save with intention to reload it because I was at a weird point. So I did choose a save slot, and I did. Yeah.
I often in this game in Paranormasight, my suggestion to people would be don't save. Like, I save out of paranoia.
I do too. Yeah.
But you don't need to. The times that you fail in this game are built into the game, and if I save and then I keep playing a couple chapters, and then I'm like, "Ooh, I wonder what happened with that thing."
Yeah.
And I go back, I've just erased all those chapters I played.
Right.
So it's better to just go to the story chart and replay the chapter, and usually it'll have a marker.
Right.
From like at the exact spot that you want, because they know you're going to be curious about that thing. Right. So, like you said, they're very conscious of you playing the game and what you will do and want to do.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
But I would suggest at least once, especially as you get towards the end of the game, hit load and just look. Is anything weird?
Okay. Can do that.
Is there anything weird there? And it's not necessary. You don't need to see this to beat the game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's worth doing.
Nice. Just like an interesting detail.
Right. And it'll sort of start pointing you towards the final, like the true ending.
Oh, cool. Like you determined, I already have like a goal here that I'm kind of bumping up against. So Maybe I'll do that tonight. Maybe I'll do it after this podcast.
And what you saw, the thing that you talked to me about off recording, it was you noticed in one of the endings there was an emotional reaction that a character had that hinted towards something else. I noticed something similar, but at a completely different spot.
I noticed it like a few times. So I noticed.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I noticed in a scene early on, and then I noticed in a very weird scene where two characters met up, but it didn't I thought I fucked something up. It didn't really go anywhere. So I've been having these foreshadowed moments, and then
I know what scene you're talking about.
Yeah, yes, and then when the character had such an emotional reaction, I knew that I was missing something there.
In the scene right before the big, and granted, this game has multiple big climactic scenes, because it has multiple endings, and the first ending that you come across is harrowing.
Yeah.
I mean, it is it's very much like a everybody died. You fucked up and everybody died sort of scenario.
Yeah, it's sad. There's some very sad moments throughout these story charts.
Yeah, and some of the deaths in this game don't get undone. And
yeah, that's true. People will die.
Really sad. Even people that you don't like, and they
that's
die.
True.
And
yeah,
it's
that's true.
Oh man, that person shouldn't have died. I feel bad that they died. Which means, man, I've got to ask you a whole nother thing. Holy shit.
My God, we can't keep talking about this game.
We can.
Okay. We can. Yeah.
All right, off recording.
Okay.
So again, there's just so much to talk about with this game. We've got to call it at some point. We've got to cut ourselves off. Paranormasight, the Mermaid's Curse
yeah.
is fucking great, and I hope
really
that they
fun.
keep making Paranormasight games forever. I want to see, and there's a hint. Once you get the true ending, if you go back and you look at the one file that you've been unable to look at the whole game, it does give you a hint as to what the next game might, at least some characters that might be involved in the next game. So
lovely. I'm so excited.
I'm stoked. Also, just like the first game, you can collect a bunch of stickers.
The mockingbirds, and they have a chart. They have a relationship chart.
So
they're
all birds that are like part of a 1950s West Side Story style drama.
Everyone's like a greaser. It's so great. It's so quirky.
And if you collect all of them, you get one little like scene with the mockingbirds.
How cute!
Like you get a little mockingbird cartoon.
That's adorable. I love that.
So, man, great game. I could talk about it forever. Thank you, folks, for listening to Save Your Game and listening to us talk about this. And if you've played the game, feel free to reach out. We'd love to. I mean, there's so much more to talk about.
We didn't even get to the surface here. I'm just brimming.
Yeah. Is there anything big that you wanted to talk about before we go? Okay. Yeah.
No, nothing big. No.
Well, guys, our schedule has been a little quirky, as you've noticed. I don't know when it's going to get back on track, but there are a bunch of games that came out this year already that we are stoked to play.
Absolutely.
And I think as we start getting through those games, we'll release episodes on them. And, who knows, maybe here and there we will release some other shit. Just sillier shit. Or, like we said, we made this promise and then we didn't do an episode for a month. But this is the year where we're going to dive into the fucking games that we've been ranking and never played.
We've already done one. We already did Astrologaster.
Correct, but it's also the year of the mermaid, apparently.
It is the year of the mermaid. I love our new mermaid overlords.
Yeah, Mermaid. There's a new demo for Detective Grimoire.
Yeah. Is that also called The Mermaid's Curse? No, The Mermaid Mask.
The Mermaid Mask. The Mermaid's Curse and The Mermaid Mask. What if both of them end up on our 2025 best of list?
That'd be amazing. I mean, this game absolutely is already.
There's so little chance it doesn't, right?
Yeah, very little chance. Yeah.
Oh, but Esoteric Ebb comes out fucking tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
And then of course there's Perfect High Station to Station.
I know we gotta play that.
There's the what's it called?
Just gonna go look.
Me too, and I'm clearly scrolling over it over and over again and just not seeing. It's like not kidding my eyeballs.
Are you talking about what the fuck? Why is the page not loading? This is making us look stupid.
We look like
Postmodern Adventures. That's the dev.
Postmodern Adventures is the dev, and the game that he released already this year that we haven't played yet is
Dark Rites of Arkham? No.
Yes, that's the one. Dark Rites of Arkham.
Yay,
we got to play Dark Rites of Arkham.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true. That's
my god.
You know, I said this to you earlier. One of the only games I've ever 100%ed was Nightmare Frames.
Yeah.
I fucking loved that game. I felt like for a while that's all I was texting you was stuff about Nightmare Frames.
That's true. TR49 came out. Clue, Murder by Death. Yeah, there's it's already what this is going to be the rest of our lives, and we're never going to catch up.
Oh no,
we're never going to play all the good games that come out ever again.
This is bad for me because I have big plans on making pangolins out of clay.
Well, we have a lot of games that we are really excited for that we are going to but as we finish them, we'll release episodes, and again we'll maybe release some episodes in the meantime. I'm probably going to cut that out because I already just said all that. But that said, we will be back soon. We're not abandoning you, we promise.
No, of course not. Never. We would never do that. And
never.
Also,
we're going to make this podcast forever until we die.
I'm an 800-year immortal.
Oh, I wish I was.
This is what I do with my time. And also, if you want, I'm at least very, very active in the Discord. I know Matt and Pat from Mutant Menace, I know they pop in too. So we're always talking about games. We're always discussing them. It's always happening. So, if you're interested in that, join our Discord, and we'll be happy to chit chat more there.
And if you want to talk to us more directly, you can email us at mattandroses@gmail.com. And, every now and then, a couple times a year, we do, we'll read and address your emails on air.
Sounded like almost a threat.
You can check us out. Also, check us out on Instagram at fucking Christ.
Oh my God, you did it again. You got Mutant Menace on the mind.
At Save Your Game Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And come back and join us, sometime in the next week or 2 or 3 or 4. Not 5.
Definitely not 5. That would
hopefully
be
not
insane.
4. Maybe not 3. Soon.
Yeah, not 3 either.
Come join us soon, because as you guys know, podcasts is art.
And art is suffering.